everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm your girl Katrina. Today I'm going to be showing you how I actually place, hoop, and embroider left chest logos on some polo shirts. If you're trying to figure out the best placement for your left chest logos, today's video will help you out. I'm going to show you the best way I learned how to do it, how I actually place it. And you can use this for embroidery, you can use it for transfers, vinyl, anything, as long as you're trying to place a logo on a left chest. This video will definitely help you out, so stick around as I fulfill this order. I post weekly content, weekly tutorials on all the scenes behind my business to help you grow and start yours on embroidery, vinyl, crafting, you name it, sublimation. I pretty much have a video out there. So let's get started. I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna show you how you go ahead and actually place your left chest logo. Let's get started. Okay, so I have a large polo right here. First things first, you want to make sure your shirt is buttoned up, so that way you can make sure you have straight lines. I'm just going to make sure it's all straight. Now there's different methods, different techniques. I'm going to show you with the ruler. You can use one of these, but this actually isn't that long because you do want something just a little bit longer if possible, but this is actually good as well. I'm just going to take a regular ruler. So from the very top, right here at the center, the edge of the collar, you want to take a ruler and go straight down. And your logo design should be in between, should fall in between 7 to 9 inches. 7 to 9 inches down. So I'm going to start at the top of 7. Start at the top of 7, and I'm going to put my finger right there. Then I'm going to go from the buttons over. Your design should be no more than between 4 to 6 inches over going this way. Alright, so from the buttons, right at the very top of the buttons, 4 inches over. And you want to be closer to the left than you are to the right, because you don't want your design to fall off in the corner of the armpit. Depending upon how wide your design is will determine where you can place it. So 7 inches down, 4 inches over, and that will give me my mark right here. Now what you want to do is you want to have a stitch out already stitched out, so that way you can actually place it on the actual size, or you can take a piece of paper and cut it out to the size of your design. So this is my test stitch. I'm going to place it right here. I'm going to have a little fabric marker. These are erasable. I'm just going to put a small dot right here, so that way I know, a small dot. Or you can use tape, you can use the erasable chalk. So I'm going to place my design right here. That's going to let me know, that's going to give me a visual of where my logo is going to go. And that looks great. That looks great. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, this is a size large, so every time I actually get ready to embroider a left chest logo on a size large men's shirt, the best way for me to do it is I'm going to use my mighty hoop, put this on so that way I can mark it and I'll know every single time. And let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to be using my hooping station. It makes life so much easier. The link is down below if you want to order one. And if you use my special code, of course, you can get free shipping, but you have to call if you place any orders. I'm going to be using my 5x5 mighty hoop. This is the most popular size, most common size. You want to have multiples of these, especially if you're doing large orders, so that way while one is on the machine, you can be hooping your other ones. So now on my hooping station, I'm not sure if you can see it, let me give you a close-up. So once you have your sizes figured out, what numbers you're going to use, you want to kind of write it in. That's what the lines are for. You know, I haven't done that for everything, and sometimes, you know, it might vary, might change depending upon the brand of shirt you're using, but for the most part, you know, you can stick within that range. So I have, you know, like my medium, my large, extra large, and I'll have different numbers placed here, so that way I'll know what hole to go to when I'm hooping that particular size shirt. Okay, so I showed you how to actually measure it out, and I put a little piece of blue tape here so that way you can see it better. I'm going to show you how you actually hoop it, and make sure you get it right every single time. Every time. That's what you want. So I have my logo here. So for size medium, I have it at a 10, so I'm going to leave that at a 10. And it will vary depending upon the brand of shirt you're using, okay? Some shirts are cut differently, smaller or bigger, but for the most part, it's all in the same range. All right, so now the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your shirt is straight. You want to make sure it's straight. You have lines, you have guides here to help you out. So this line, you want to line up with your buttons. You want to make sure it's straight. Another thing to make sure that your shirt is straight, you know, other than just eyeing it, those lines at the collar, you want to make sure that's along the grooves of the top of this. So pull it all the way down. Make sure your buttons are lined up with that, with the line going down the middle, and make sure the collar is running right along the edge. Another thing to do, this right here has a straight line. Mash that down. Make sure that's completely straight. If you mash this down, that's a guide. Y'all see how my lines are straight? If it was off like this, then I know my shirt is not straight. So I'm going to make sure it's straight using this, and I want to use this. Okay, so I have it in the hole that I referenced. It's in hole number 10. Everything is straight. I didn't hoop it first. All right, so before I do that, I need to actually put my bottom piece on here. So I'm going to put this in. I did all that without hooping. I'm going to lift up these black tabs, and I'm going to place in my stabilizer. I'm going to be using black cutaway stabilizer. This is a 3-point ounce, and it's nice and smooth, so it's not teary, it's not scratchy. It won't irritate the skin underneath. So I'm going to place that in there. You want to make sure you have a big enough piece so that way this can catch. If it doesn't catch, like, I need to pull it down just a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to put my shirt back. Sorry about that. But as you see how I just moved it, I'm able to put it right back in place without any problems. Especially when you're doing company shirts. You want it to be the same position every single time. And now that I have my backing in, shirt in place, now I'm going to take this. You want to make sure the U part is up here, open. I'm going to stick that right in the frame, and I'm going to now hoop that. All right, so that's pretty much in the center. All right, okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check my bobbin, which I know it's good, but just for the purposes of the video, I just put in a fresh one. So I'm going to now make sure I clear my bottom of the shirt, put that in, so that way I know I'm not sewing my shirt shut. Insert that like so, double checking again to make sure everything is clear. And I am going to go ahead and do a trace. So I'm going to trace this out to make sure it's where I want it to be. So I'm going to get my test stitch again, and now I'm going to contour it over that. Alright, I'm going to remove this, of course. Cut my light on for you guys so you can see. I'm going to hit start. So I'm just going to stop it to get that out. So today's workflow is all about efficiency. When you're a beginner like me, I've only been embroidering for a good year and a half. I want to make sure that I have the best tools and stuff in place to make sure these repetitive jobs don't get bored, and I'm making sure that I'm getting it done in the most productive way possible. So using all these different tips and tools definitely works and helps me get the job done much faster and more efficiently, so that way I can move on to the next job. Also, if you're looking for someone to digitize your artwork, you might want to check out Digitizing. They digitize my file. You can use my affiliate link down in the description box below, and you can get 50% off your very first order. Okay, so that one's done. Let's take it out and let's look at how the placement came out. Okay, push that back. Let's take it off and let's see how it looks. I'll clean the backing up later, but just to show you perfect placement for your logo. Straighten the shirt out, put it down, and just like that. Okay. Could have went over a little bit to the right. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that I used 14. Last time I showed it was in 10, but that was like for the women's. So I changed it. The 14 is actually a much better placement for these particular shirts that I'm doing for the men's. I know I got sloppy handwriting, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to hoop it again, and I'm going to show you how it falls in places. So now up close, you can see that my buttons is lined up with the line right here in the center. My collars are right at the edge, and if I press this down, I have pretty much a straight line going along the center of the buttons. My dot is right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and place this in. So now I repositioned my board to make sure I try to get where I want in the center of the hoop. That's what you're aiming for. You want it to be in the center of the hoop. So you just keep playing with the numbers until you get the right position for you. So I'm going to press that down, and my dot is right there. That's pretty much smack dead in the center, pretty much. So I'm going to use number 19 this time around. Doing the same thing. Making sure my shirt is clear at the bottom. This one is all done. So doing 10, 20 orders is okay. You know, even a little more, depending upon, you know, the design, depending upon what you're doing. Left chest logos are cool, but once you start getting more than that on a regular, consistent basis, then you definitely want to think about multiple heads. I'm waiting. I got my next one ready. I'm still waiting for this one to finish. This is what happens when you have one machine and you have mighty hoops. That makes the job so much easier and quicker. So I can dance and work. So I'm telling you guys, left chest logos are so easy to do when you frame it out, hoop it out, and you use the hooping station. It makes life so much easier. So I bit the bullet, and I made an investment, and I just love it because I would be struggling to make sure I had everything placed in the exact same place. I'll be struggling to make sure it was perfect. That one finished. I'm gonna go ahead and swap it out, and I'm gonna start cleaning up the backs. I'll be done with this in no time, literally. All right, so I'm just gonna place that down, knock this one out. Looks good. I've had no thread breaks so far. I shouldn't have said that because when you say something, that's when things happen. Fingers crossed. Let's check on the bobbin. Bobbin is still pretty good. All right, insert the next one and keep rocking and rolling. Keep rocking and rolling. Now these are all still mediums I'm doing. Then I'm gonna go up to the size large. Then I'm gonna do the extra large, and then I'm gonna do my women's. Always check in the back to make sure everything is good. Frame it out again. And we're just gonna keep this production rolling. Got a really, really busy day. Really busy day. Boom. Like butter, baby. I'm going to be all the way 100% real with you guys, as I always am. When I first got my embroidery machine, I was so intimidated by this big piece of equipment. I'd never even used a regular sewing machine before. But guess what? After taking on my training and finally putting in the extra time and effort to learn the equipment, now I'm sitting here taking on all these jobs, taking on all these projects, not afraid anymore. Me and my machine are one. It's running like butter, and I am literally doing all these jobs with no effort. Yes, it's repetitive work. I'm learning new techniques. I'm getting my tools and my systems in place to help me, to aid me, to make it easier. Guys, I'm telling you, embroidery is not that hard. Once you actually put in the time to learn it, you can turn around and make this machine work for you and make money from it. Look at me, a year and a half later, and I'm doing the thing. That one finished just in time. Perfect. Rock and roll, baby. So it is definitely time for me to get some more mighty hoops. I probably really need at least 4 of these 5x5s, because here it is. I stepped out the room, my machine stopped, and I didn't have anything else hooped because I didn't take this off. So it's always good to have multiple mighty hoops. Again, you can get these from mightyhoops.com or hoopmaster.com. The link is down below in the description box. You can save on shipping if you use my special code. Also, look how good the file is. I didn't really talk about it too much, but I got this digitized from Digitizing, and they are really, really cheap. I talked about them before on my channel, but if you want to get into embroidery, but you do not know how to digitize, and something like this is simple, I could have done it, but why do I have to do it? And I can pay someone else to do it. I can outsource it, and it's a great stitch out, great file. I had no problems. I've been doing them back to back to back with no issues, and they do vector artwork as well. So the link is down below in the description box as well if you want to get, you know, your files digitized for a low cost. Just want to point that out really quick. Now back to work. So now that I'm hooping them perfectly every single time, pretty much in the same spot, I don't really even have to reframe. If I put my little presser foot down, I'm in the exact same spot as I was from my last few shirts. So all I gotta do is hit start. That's the beauty of these mighty hoops. That's the beauty of So for the medium shirts, I did 19. Now I'm going up to a large, and I had it in 14, but something tells me that's wrong. So I'm just gonna redo it again to make sure I get the right position that I want. So I have my dot, lining my shirt up. Again, this is a size large. I know I got my machines running in the background. Alright, so I got my buttons. I'm sorry, my head is in the way. I'm just going to see if this number is still good for this. So I am going to hoop it out. So no, I can tell already I need, it's okay. So for sake of time, I am going to leave it here. It's not exactly in the middle. This is in the middle, but all I'll do is just move my needle down. So I'll keep it here because it's close enough for me. Alright, so I finished all my mediums. Now I'm just going to check my bobbin. I'm still good. So that's good. Alrighty, I can keep going. The last thing you want is to run out of bobbin in the middle of a design. I learned that the hard way. In the beginning, I just kept thinking I was having all these thread breaks, and I didn't know why. I just kept running out of bobbin. So always check your bobbin. Okay, so now I know I'm definitely gonna have to reposition it because my dot is over there. So I'm just going to frame it out and make sure my presser foot for the #1 needle lines up with where I have my center at. And I hope I'm not too far over. So I'm gonna reframe that out. It looks like it's off center, but it's actually centered with where I want it to be. I'm gonna contour trace that. All right, and here we go. Okay, so I have to stop because I have to go do mom duties and go pick my son up from school. It's time for me to go get in the car line, but they are coming out great. Okay, so I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to do. 6 more to do, so I think I can get it done. My camera is crooked, sorry. I'm gonna run and go get my son from school, and then I'm gonna come back, knock out this order, close out the video. I'll be back. Y'all, it is so hot out here. I had to just take off my hoodie because I thought it was gonna be chilly. All right, here I go to the school. I'm hot, hungry, and tired. I'm gonna try to record Caden, but I never know how he's gonna react. I have to always use caution because when I pick him up from school, I never know what mood he's gonna be in. So hopefully he's in a good mood today, so that way y'all can see him. If he ain't, he will not be on camera.
They say I have ISS for tomorrow, started tomorrow for 2 days.
I know. Okay, so we're not gonna talk about that. Caden's in the car, and I don't know if he's in a good mood, but he got in the car before I even saw him approaching the car. We're still in line. I don't know how. I think he'd be running out to school because you got out before all the other kids. How was school today?
It was fine.
It's like pulling teeth trying to get my son to talk about school. So I'm back from getting my son. I gotta feed him. I have to eat. So I'm just gonna knock out. I already started. I just said, let me just record the rest of this. And I'm going to finish all of these and hopefully get them to UPS today. Hopefully. If not, I'll ship it out early in the morning. Okay, so I finished all of my men's polo shirts. Now I'm getting ready to do my women's, and I had to adjust the file, bring it in, because the women's cut is much smaller, so I don't want the same size logo. So tip of the day, if I'm doing the same exact design on multiple different size shirts, so say for example, my one of my shirts was an extra large for the men's, right? This was about like a 3x2 for the logo size. I would not put the same size on the women's small because of course it's a much smaller frame. That's even a unisex shirt. The other one is a women's cut, so it's a silhouette. So I had to readjust it. Same thing I would do for like using transfers or using vinyl or anything like that or sublimation. I adjust it for the size of the shirt. Same thing with the embroidery file. So I just took it down. Now it's about 2.5 inches by like 1.75 for this particular logo. Every logo is going to be different. Every shirt is going to be different. So you want to measure it out for your particular shirt and your design that you have. So now I'm just inputting the new size in, and I'm going to finish off the last shirts for the women's, and I am done. Yes. And I don't even think I said it in this video, but if you watch my channel, you already know which machine I have. I have the MT1501 from Ricoma. Link is down below in the description box. If you're interested in getting a multi-needle or any other machine, so the link is down below in the description box. If you're interested at all in any embroidery machine, you can definitely use my Ricoma affiliate link. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, transfer this, and knock out the rest of this order, and it's a wrap. Have to reframe for sure. Almost done. Almost done. Still got a few more left to go. Ready to ship out. Here I am just finishing up the last few women's shirts, and this order is complete. Finally, all in a day's work. Wanted to share my work day with you. I'm going to be doing a lot more work with me videos, but I'm about to go and take it down for the night. I'm going to go eat dinner, spend time with my little man, and ship these shirts out. Here's the final looks. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and blessings.